These 4 Dogman and Werewolf stories were retrieved from the Lake of the Woods Historical Society in Baudette, Minnesota. Thanks to the staff for help in finding and using these stories in late 2024. Names have been changed and the interviews have been reformatted for readability in print. Story 1, The Deer Hunter's Encounter. My name is Jacob, and I'm a 47-year-old deer hunter from Beltrami County, Minnesota. I've been hunting the rugged forests and swamps of northern Minnesota since I was a kid, following in the footsteps of my father and grandfather. It's a tradition that's been passed down through generations, and one that I cherish dearly. It was a crisp autumn morning in 2018 when my life changed forever. I had set out before dawn, determined to track down a massive buck that had been eluding me for weeks. As the sun peeked over the horizon, I found myself deep in the Chippewa National Forest, just outside the town of Bemidji. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, and the only sounds were the gentle rustling of the trees and the occasional call of a bird. Suddenly, a bone-chilling howl pierced the silence, unlike anything I'd ever heard before. It sent a shiver down my spine, and I instinctively crouched down, gripping my rifle tightly. Slowly, I inched forward, my eyes scanning the dense foliage for any sign of movement. That's when I saw it. A massive, hulking creature, covered in shaggy gray fur, standing on 2 powerful legs. Its glowing yellow eyes locked onto mine, and I felt a surge of pure, primal fear. The creature let out a guttural roar, its jaws snapping, and then it vanished back into the forest, disappearing as quickly as it had appeared. I stood there frozen, my heart pounding in my chest. I couldn't believe what I had just witnessed. It was no ordinary animal, that much was certain. I quickly made my way back to my truck, my hands shaking, and drove straight home, too shaken to continue my hunt. Since that day, I've never returned to the Chippewa National Forest. The memory of that haunting encounter is seared into my mind, a constant reminder of the unknown and the dangers that lurk in the wilds of northern Minnesota. I've tried to convince myself that it was just my imagination, but deep down, I know that what I saw was all too real. And it's a secret I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. Whenever I look out over the vast, untamed wilderness that surrounds my home, I can't help but wonder what other mysteries and terrors might be hiding in the shadows. The creature I saw that day was unlike anything I've ever encountered, and the thought of it still sends shivers down my spine. Was it some kind of undiscovered species? A mythical beast come to life? Or was it something else entirely? A dark and primal force that has eluded human understanding for centuries? These questions haunt me, keeping me awake at night as I try to piece together the fragments of that fateful encounter. I've scoured the internet and local libraries, searching for any clues or similar accounts, but the information is scarce and often unreliable. The only thing I know for certain is that what I saw was real, and it has forever changed the way I view the world around me. Now, whenever I venture into the woods, I can't help but feel a sense of unease, a nagging feeling that I'm being watched. I've become more cautious, more alert, always scanning the horizon for any sign of that hulking, fur-covered creature. And while a part of me longs to return to the Chippewa, to confront my fears and uncover the truth, another part of me knows that I may not be able to handle what I might find. Story 2, The Librarian's Encounter. My name is Daniel Williamson, and I'm a 52-year-old librarian at the Duluth Public Library in Duluth, Minnesota. For most of my adult life, I've been fascinated by the rich history and folklore of the North Woods region, poring over old newspaper clippings, local legends, and eyewitness accounts in search of the truth behind the mysterious creatures said to roam these remote, untamed landscapes. It was in the summer of 2022 that I had my own extraordinary encounter, one that would forever change the way I view the world around me. I had decided to take a solo camping trip in the Superior National Forest, just north of Duluth, as a way to unwind and reconnect with the natural world. As I set up my tent near the banks of a serene, glacier-fed lake, I couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation, a premonition that something remarkable was about to unfold. As the sun began to set, casting a warm, golden glow over the towering pines, I stepped outside to stretch my legs and take in the breathtaking view. Suddenly, a powerful primal howl echoed through the trees, sending a chill down my spine. I froze, my heart racing, as a massive bipedal creature emerged from the shadows, towering over me with its shaggy gray fur and canine-like features. Our eyes locked, and I was struck by the sheer intensity of its gaze, a blend of intelligence, ferocity, and a primordial energy that seemed to radiate from its very being. For what felt like an eternity, we stood there, suspended in a moment of mutual fascination and trepidation, until the creature let out another bone-chilling howl and turned, disappearing back into the depths of the forest. I stood there, trembling, for what felt like hours, unable to process the magnitude of what I had just witnessed. This was no ordinary animal. This was a creature straight out of the darkest corners of folklore. A living, breathing embodiment of the legends and stories I had dedicated my career to studying and preserving. Since that fateful encounter, my work at the library has taken on a new sense of urgency and purpose. I've scoured our extensive archives, poring over every available record, historical account, and eyewitness testimony related to these mysterious humanoid creatures. Creatures that are often referred to as the Wendigo, or the Minnesota Iceman in local lore. The more I uncover, the more I realize that these beings are not merely the stuff of myth and legend, but rather a tangible, undiscovered part of the natural world, one that has eluded our understanding for centuries. Sightings of these strange bipedal creatures have been reported for decades, passed down through generations of families in the North Woods. Yet they have largely been dismissed as the products of overactive imaginations or misidentifications of known wildlife. But now, after my own first-hand encounter, I can no longer deny the possibility that these creatures are real. The sheer size and power of the being I witnessed, coupled with its unsettling intelligence and primal ferocity, has shaken the very foundation of my understanding of the natural world. I've spent countless hours poring over historical accounts, searching for any hint of a scientific explanation that might make sense of what I saw. But the more I investigate, the more I realize that these creatures exist in a realm that lies beyond the boundaries of our current knowledge. What are they? Where did they come from? And what other secrets might they be hiding in the vast, untamed wilderness of northern Minnesota? These questions have become an obsession, driving me to explore the most remote and uncharted regions of the Chippewa National Forest, in the hopes of uncovering more evidence of their existence. It's a quest that has consumed me, both intellectually and emotionally, as I grapple with the implications of what my encounter might mean for our understanding of the natural world and our place within it. As a librarian, I've always valued the power of knowledge and the pursuit of truth. But now, more than ever, I am determined to uncover the hidden secrets of these mysterious creatures, to shed light on the wonders and terrors that lurk in the shadows of the North Woods. It's a task that fills me with a sense of both trepidation and excitement, as I know that the answers I seek may challenge the very foundations of our reality. One thing is certain: the memory of that creature's haunting presence will forever be seared into my mind, a constant reminder that there are forces at work in this world that we still have yet to fully understand. And as I continue my quest, I can't help but wonder, what other marvels and horrors might be waiting to be discovered in the vast, untamed wilderness of northern Minnesota? Expanded Story 3, The Backpacker's Encounter. Hey, my name's Michael, and I'm a 32-year-old outdoor enthusiast from Itasca County. I love nothing more than strapping on my backpack and hitting the trails, exploring the vast, untamed wilderness of northern Minnesota. It's my way of escaping the noise and stress of everyday life, to immerse myself in the beauty and serenity of the natural world. It was in the summer of 2020 that I decided to take on a challenging, multi-day hike through the Chippewa National Forest, just outside the town of Grand Rapids. The towering pines, the crystal-clear lakes, and the rugged, rocky terrain. It was also breathtakingly beautiful, and I couldn't wait to lose myself in it. As the sun was setting on the second day of my trek, I came across a secluded wooded area that seemed perfect for setting up camp. I started to pitch my tent, humming softly to myself, when suddenly a chilling howl echoed through the trees. It was unlike any sound I had ever heard before. A guttural, primal roar that sent a shiver down my spine. I froze, my eyes scanning the surrounding forest, searching for the source of the sound. That's when I saw it. A massive, hulking creature, covered in shaggy, dark fur, standing on two powerful legs. Its glowing yellow eyes were fixed on me, and I could see its jaws open in a menacing snarl, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth. I didn't even think. I just turned and ran, my heart pounding in my chest. I ran until I couldn't run anymore, finally collapsing on the ground, gasping for breath. When I finally made it back to my car, I didn't even bother packing up my campsite. I just drove straight home, my mind racing with unanswered questions and a lingering sense of terror. To this day, I can't shake the memory of that encounter. I know what I saw wasn't some ordinary animal, and the thought of that creature lurking in the shadows of the Chippewa National Forest haunts me. I've been back to those woods a few times since, but I can never shake the feeling that I'm being watched, that the creature is out there, waiting to strike again. Whenever I venture into the wilderness, I find myself constantly on edge, my senses heightened, my eyes scanning the trees and undergrowth for any sign of movement. The memory of that creature's glowing eyes and bared fangs is seared into my mind, a constant reminder of the dangers that lurk in the untamed wilds of northern Minnesota. I've tried to share my experience with friends and family, but they often dismiss it as the product of an overactive imagination or a simple misidentification. But I know what I saw, and the impact it has had on me is undeniable. It's as if that encounter has forever changed the way I view the world around me, shattering my sense of security and making me acutely aware of the unknown forces that may be lurking just out of sight. In a way, this experience has made me more cautious, more attuned to the subtle rhythms and nuances of the natural world. And yet, it has also ignited a deep fascination within me, a desire to uncover the truth behind these mysterious humanoid creatures. I find myself drawn to stories and accounts of similar sightings, scouring the internet and local libraries for any clues or insights that might help me make sense of what I saw that fateful night in the Chippewa National Forest. Story 4. The Mechanic's Encounter. My name is John, and I'm a 41-year-old auto mechanic from Koochiching County, Minnesota. I've lived in the small town of International Falls my whole life, and I've always had a deep appreciation for the rugged, untamed wilderness that surrounds my hometown. Whether it's fishing in the vast, glacial lakes or snowmobiling through the snow-covered forests, I love being out in nature, disconnecting from the stresses of everyday life. It was a crisp, clear night in October 2021 when I decided to take a late-night ride on my motorcycle through the winding, wooded roads just outside of town. The air was cool and refreshing, and I relished the thrill of carving through the curves, with nothing but the sound of my engine and the wind in my face. As I rounded a sharp bend, I caught a glimpse of something moving in the distance, something that didn't quite look like any animal I'd ever seen before. I slowed down, my curiosity piqued, and that's when I saw it. A massive bipedal creature, covered in shaggy gray fur, with a canine-like face and glowing eyes. It was standing on the side of the road, watching me intently, and the sight of it sent a chill down my spine. Without hesitating, I gunned the throttle, pushing my bike to its limits as I raced away from the creature. I could hear its bone-chilling howl echoing behind me, and the sound of it still haunts me to this day. I didn't stop until I reached the outskirts of International Falls, my hands shaking and my heart pounding in my chest. Since that night, I've been reluctant to venture too deep into the surrounding forests, always keeping an eye out for any sign of the strange, wolf-like creature. I've told a few of my closest friends about the encounter, but they've all dismissed it as my imagination, or as some kind of large, escaped pet. But I know what I saw, and the memory of those glowing eyes and bared fangs is seared into my mind. I can't help but wonder, what other secrets are hidden in the untamed wilds of northern Minnesota? And what would happen if I were to encounter that creature again, out on those lonely, winding roads? The thought fills me with a mixture of fear and fascination, as I try to make sense of the possibility that such a being could exist in the modern world. Whenever I'm out on my motorcycle, navigating the twisting, tree-lined roads that weave through the wilderness, I find myself constantly scanning the shadows, searching for any sign of movement. The memory of that glowing-eyed creature is always at the back of my mind, a constant reminder that there are forces at work in this world that we still don't fully understand. In a way, the encounter has made me more attuned to the natural world around me, more aware of the subtle sounds and shifts in the environment that might signal the presence of something otherworldly. I find myself listening more intently, my senses heightened, as if I'm constantly on the lookout for another glimpse of that hulking, fur-covered figure. At the same time, the experience has left me with a lingering sense of unease, a feeling that there are darker, more primal forces at play in the untamed wilderness of northern Minnesota. I can't help but wonder what other strange and unsettling creatures might be lurking in the shadows, just waiting to be discovered. And the thought that I might one day come face to face with that creature again, on some lonely, moonlit road, fills me with a mixture of dread and morbid curiosity.